Hello, students. It's nice to see you, and welcome to the new episode of Max Sensei's online English lesson. I forget what number this is now. I think it's 16, 15, something like that. Anyway, I hope you're doing well. I'm doing fine. A little busy at work, but I'm surviving. So, today we are going to talk about something very familiar to all of you, and that is, but I'm going to introduce it by giving you maybe an unfamiliar word. Do you know the word glycine max? Glycine max? I don't think you do. And today was the first time I ever heard this word, but it's actually a scientific word for soybeans. That's right. And I'm sure you are all very familiar with soybeans. So the scientific word for soybeans is glycine max. And the reason why I chose to talk about soybeans is because I was watching a program last week with my wife, Mio, and we were watching some farmers growing soybeans. And I saw the soybean growing in the ground, and it was, the soy pod was the long stem, and I thought, oh, they should pick it while it's green because when it's green, it's fresh. Edamame is like green, fresh. And my wife told me, no, that's just edamame. Like edamame is picked while it's still very young. But if you keep the plant growing until it's dry and yellow, that's where you get the soybean, and that's what makes so many different products. And so the story continued. The TV show, it showed the soybean grow, become yellow. The farm used a big tractor to collect all the soybeans, and then the show showed how to make soy milk and also tofu. And I thought it was really interesting. I really wanted to talk about it, and I wanted to do some research into soy production, soy products, the soybean economy, and so on. So that's going to be today's article, and we're going to get started. Remember, at the end of the article, we're going to read this. Then we have 5 vocabulary words and 5 discussion questions. So we're going to start by reading Glycine max, the most important bean in the world. Let's get started. Today we are going to talk about the most important bean in the world, Glycine max, also known as the soybean. The reason why it is the most important bean in the world is because of its economic impact. Millions of people around the world and many countries rely on soybeans in their daily life. And in the Western world, it is responsible for giving many vegetarians protein and assisting in weight loss for people who want a substitute to meat. In Japan, this bean is called daizu, which the Chinese characters literally translate to great bean, showing how important it is to Japan and all of Asian cuisine. Let's first look at the colors and sizes and how they connect to different products. There are basically 3 different colors of soybean and 3 different sizes. The 3 colors are yellow, green, and black, and the 3 sizes are large, medium, and small. The large soybeans are usually simmered and eaten as a side dish. The medium soybeans are used in processed foods like soy sauce, tofu, and miso. Finally, the small ones are used for natto, or fermented soybeans. Yellow is the most common soybean, but green, black, and hundreds of other variations are used in Asia. There are so many soy products that it is baffling. There are even several foods or products that don't have the word soy, but still use soybeans in it. Soy milk is a healthy drink that contains a lot of proteins and nutrients, and it is more healthy than regular milk for cows. Okay, so soy milk. Edamame are immature soybeans that are steamed or boiled in salt water and eaten as a snack. Natto is considered a power food eaten for breakfast, but difficult for Westerners to eat. Tofu is a big part of the Japanese diet and prepared in many different ways. Soy sauce is used all around the world to give an intense flavor to many dishes, including sushi, stirred fried rice, and more. Miso, excuse me, miso is a fermented soy paste used in many dishes or added to many soups or foods. I love miso. Yuba is a skin like layer that forms when soy milk is heated up. They scrape the layer off, and the Japanese use it in various recipes. I've actually never eaten yuba. Okara and soybean flour, like kinako, is also used in various dishes. Even vegetable oil is actually made from soy. I didn't know that. This little bean is used in so many ways that it is no wonder it is called the most important bean in the world. Economically, soybeans are a very big industry. You might be surprised, but 90% of all soy used in Japan comes from overseas. Japan's farms cannot make enough soy to keep up with demand. So Japan imports soy from other countries. And 90% of all imported soy comes from the United States. Yay, USA. This is very surprising for Americans because soy is not such an important part of their diet. However, over the past several years, Japanese businesses are investing in companies in South America and creating business connections with companies outside the USA, like Canada, to increase diversity and improve varieties of soy products. Many Japanese production companies that make tofu, soy sauce, miso, and many other soy-based products depend on these imports. So, it is very important that Japan keeps a good relationship with the soybean farmers in North and South America. Let's continue enjoying the healthy, delicious, great bean that is glycine max. All right. So that's the whole article. I wrote that earlier today. As I was reading, I noticed a couple mistakes. I'm very sorry for that. I should read my writing more carefully and correct it. But glycine max, soybean, it's so important in Asia. I know Japan has grown soybeans for more than 1,300 years. And when the population was very small, the farms making soybeans in Japan was enough to feed everyone. But as, oh man, sorry. As the population increased, the soybean production in Japan was not enough, and they had to rely on other countries to get soybeans. I was really happy to learn that the United States was the number one soybean provider to Japan. I always like learning about new connections between Japan and America. So it's nice to see that, that the Japanese washoku, the Japanese diet, it actually has a small connection to America and American farming. That's really nice. Actually, my coworker, he comes from Wisconsin, and he has family in Kentucky, and he said that his uncle is a soybean farmer. So I asked him, does he send his soybeans to Japan? And my coworker didn't have the answer, but maybe, probably. Soybeans are not used so much in America. I know that in America we have tofu, but the tofu is kind of made to be a type of meat. So like we have a tofu hamburger or a tofu like turkey. So they make tofu and they put some chemicals inside of it and they try to make the tofu taste like meat. And then people who want to be vegetarian or people who are on a diet or people just trying to be a little bit more healthy, they will eat the tofu kind of meat supplement, which actually I've never tried. So when I was in America, I never had soy. Oh, that's not true. I had soy sauce. And in America, we put soy sauce on our rice, and it's pretty delicious. But I tried putting soy sauce on my rice in Japan, and my Japanese friends were shocked because you should eat rice, just white rice, pure. White rice is delicious. And over the 10 years I've lived in Japan, I realize white rice is very delicious. I no longer pour soy sauce on my rice. But when I first came to Japan, I put soy sauce on my rice. I'm sorry. Okay, well, let's look at the vocabulary. I'm going to shrink this window. And we have our first word, substitute. So substitute means a thing that is serving in place of another. So I said that in America, tofu substitutes meat. So we have like a tofu burger where we don't have a meat burger, we substitute the meat for tofu, like that. Next is the word literally. Literally means in an exact way or sense. Absolutely true. So when I talked about the Chinese characters, I said the Chinese characters literally translate to great bean. So of course, when we say daizu, we don't think like oki or amazing or great bean. We just say daizu and we think of soybean. But when we want to translate something literally, we look at the kanji and we try to explain what those kanji mean. So when you want to say the literal translation to kanji or Chinese characters, you should say the Chinese characters literally translate to nantoka, like that. All right, the next word is simmered. This is a cooking technique, so keeping food just below the boiling point when cooking or heating. When talking about edamame, we say edamame is simmered in salt water, so the salt water is kept just below boiling. And then the edamame become very soft, but not overcooked or too soft. The next word is various. Various means more than one, several. And I said that there are various types of soybean, and there are over hundreds of variations. The next word is diversity, and diversity means a range of different things. So Japan is trying to make business connections with farms in South America, like Brazil and Argentina, and also North America, like Canada. And they're trying to diversify or create diversity with soybean production. Because if only one type of soybean is grown in America, it has a big risk of getting there's a big risk of the soybean getting an infection, and it could create a huge problem for soy production. So if we diversify the different types of soybeans in different areas, it creates a more healthy soybean community. Okay, those are the 5 vocabulary words. So everyone, please practice those. Substitute, literally, simmered, various, diversity. All right, we're going to move on to our 5 questions. And I think I'll answer one of them. Okay, so our questions, let me get in a good spot right there. Okay, our questions are, what is your favorite, number 1, what is your favorite dish that uses soy? And what is your favorite thing to dip into soy sauce? What is your favorite dish that uses soy? What's your favorite thing to dip in soy sauce? Number 2, tell me about a unique soy product that wasn't mentioned in the article. So I mentioned things like soy milk and edamame and what was the name of that one? Yuba. But can you tell me about another soy product that maybe you like that I didn't talk about? Or a unique soy product? Okay, number three. Why do Asians mainly eat soy products? Why aren't soy products famous in Western countries? Can you tell me? Or do you have any idea or opinion? Number four. Is there a difference between soybeans grown in Japan or overseas? So basically, what I'm asking is when you buy soybeans in Japan, do you check where the soybean comes from? Or if you buy tofu, is it from soy that comes from overseas? Of course, 90% of soy is grown and comes to Japan. Production happens in Japan. Like they take the bean and they create soy milk or tofu. But what about the beans that are grown in Japan and sold in Japan and produced in Japan? Is there a big difference in those types of beans? All right, and number five, our last question. What are some other beans that you enjoy eating? What dishes do you like to eat them in? So, not soybeans, but any other type of beans is okay. And I'll answer that question. So, I really do like soybeans. They're great. I like tofu. I drink soy milk almost every day after dinner. And, soy sauce, vegetable oil, when we fry things. So I use a lot of soy products. But other than that, Mexico has a lot of bean dishes, and they have something called refried beans. And refried beans are super delicious. I want to show you a picture of refried beans from Mexico. I don't really know how to make it. I think you like fry the bean, you kind of stir it up to make it sort of mushy, like mashed potatoes almost, and then you fry it again. It's called refry. Honestly, I don't know, and I'm probably making a mistake in explaining it, but it is very delicious. Look at this picture here. That's a picture of refried beans. It almost looks like curry or hummus. It's very thick and it's like a bean mash. And you usually put cheese in it, and you put cheese on top. You can put sliced tomatoes, coriander, even jalapenos. If you look at this picture, it's so delicious, guys. I really love refried beans. And it's very filling, and I really recommend these beans. Mexico loves refried beans. They're very difficult to find in Japan, but sometimes if you go to an import store, you could find it. Anyway, that's today's English lesson, talking all about soybeans. Last question: do you remember the scientific name for soybean? Tell me. Do you remember? Did you forget? All right. It's glycine max. And that's all for today. So I will see you all again in the future for my next online English lesson. Goodbye, everyone. See you.